Welcome to The Deep Dive, the show where we take a whole stack of notes, research, insights, and basically turn them into your shortcut to being really well informed.
Exactly. We dig through it so you don't have to.
And today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're plunging head first into something I find, well, absolutely fascinating.
Damn.
It's often a real puzzle for anyone learning English. The hidden world of common English phrases.
Yeah, those are crucial. And tricky.
They really are. You know, the ones of those everyday expressions native speakers just sort of throw around without a second thought.
Yeah, completely automatic.
But they can leave learners just scratching their heads wondering what on earth is going on.
Totally. It's like you know the words, but the meaning is somewhere else entirely.
Exactly. They're like the secret handshake of natural conversation, aren't they? The shortcut to sounding genuinely authentic, confident.
That's a great way to put it. A secret handshake.
Yeah.
But unlocking them, that's often the biggest hurdle, I think. And it's because these aren't just, random collections of words. They're more like cultural shorthand.
Right.
They carry layers of meaning, implication, social context, stuff that goes way beyond a simple dictionary definition.
So true. If you've ever felt like you're missing a piece of the puzzle in a conversation, like there's some unspoken understanding you haven't quite grasped.
Yeah, that feeling of what just happened.
Chances are it's one of these seemingly simple phrases causing the confusion.
Absolutely. They're the social algorithms of English, you could almost say. Little bits of code for interaction.
I like that, social algorithms. So our mission today is to decode some of these algorithms.
Let's do it.
We're embarking on a deep dive into 5 specific common English phrases. We're drawing insights from, honestly, a masterful collection of expert notes we have right here. It's sourced from Mastering Common English Phrases.
And it looks pretty comprehensive. Lots of good stuff in there.
It really is. It's packed with scenarios, those critical nuances, and hopefully those surprising aha moments we always aim for.
Yeah, and the goal here isn't just definitions, right? I mean, you could look those up easily enough.
True.
What we want to do is explore the subtle variations, how they're actually used in, all sorts of real-world situations.
Maybe why they're used that way.
Exactly. Why understanding them is so key to effective natural communication in English. We want to give you those aha moments. So these phrases don't just make sense intellectually, but they actually stick intuitively.
So you can use them confidently yourself.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Use them without even thinking too hard about it, eventually.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Let's try and decode our first phrase.
Yeah.
This is one that, well, it manages your calendar, your social life.
Oh, I think I know which one you mean.
It's deceptively simple. Are you still on for?
Yes.
Classic. It feels so straightforward, right? But there's actually quite a lot packed into those few words.
There really is. What's fascinating, I think, is how such a concise phrase manages to convey so much. An established commitment and the need for confirmation all at once. So at its core, are you still on for, is it's an informal way, a very common way, to confirm a plan or appointment that already exists.
A pre-existing one. That's key.
That's absolutely key. The crucial word, like you said, is still. It directly implies that a plan was made before. Could be hours ago, days, maybe even weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now the speaker is just checking, is that arrangement still good? Is it unchanged? Is it persisting?
Like a gentle probe.
Yeah.
A quick verification.
Exactly. A gentle probe is a good way to put it.
So it's definitely not about making a new plan.
No, absolutely not. That's a common mistake.
It's purely about affirming an existing one. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, if my friend and I plan to grab coffee tomorrow, I wouldn't use this phrase to ask if they want to get coffee in the first place.
No, you'd ask something like, do you want to grab coffee tomorrow?
Right. I'm just checking if our original plan is still a go. Is it still convenient for them? Are we still on?
Precisely. And its main purpose is efficiency, really.
Yep.
It's a quick, polite way to avoid misunderstandings, scheduling mix-ups, or that really awkward moment where one person shows up and the other completely forgot.
Oh, that's the worst.
Or they made other plans, or maybe something just came up and they can't make it anymore. This phrase helps avoid all that.
So it ensures both people are on the same page
Ah.
about something agreed on before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think, quite considerate.
How so?
Well, it shows you remember the plan, which is nice in itself, and you're just doing a final, respectful check-in. You're actually giving the other person an easy out.
Okay.
A graceful way to let you know if they need to cancel or reschedule without feeling, put on the spot or like they're letting you down badly.
That's a good point. It lowers the stakes for canceling, maybe. Makes it less awkward.
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay, let's unpack some scenarios, because context is everything with these, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The most obvious one is just casual social plans, right?
Mhm.
You know, like, hey, are you still on for coffee tomorrow at 10?
Perfect example. And in that context, the tone is almost always implied as casual, friendly.
Right.
You're not demanding confirmation. You're just opening the door for a quick, yep, see you then. Or alternatively, oh, actually, something came up.
It's relaxed. Super common.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of expected between friends, isn't it?
It really is. Or even just acquaintances who've made a plan. Think of it as like the social glue that keeps plans from just dissolving.
Yeah, especially when everyone's so busy and schedules change all the time.
Exactly. It shows you're paying attention, you respect their time, and you just want to make sure it still works.
What about in a work setting, a professional context? Could you use it there, say, for a meeting or with a colleague?
You definitely can, yeah. But it tends to be in slightly less formal professional situations.
Okay.
Or maybe with colleagues you already have a pretty friendly, established relationship with.
Right, not your first meeting with the CEO.
Probably not, no. But you could certainly say, maybe passing someone in the hallway, hey, are we still on for the quarterly review this afternoon?
Okay, that sounds natural.
Or even in a quick chat message, like on Teams or Slack, or maybe a very informal email reply. It's perfectly acceptable there in spoken context or informal writing.
But less likely in very formal communication.
Yeah, you'd probably steer clear of it in, say, an official meeting invitation that's going out to a big group, or a formal memo to senior management.
You'd phrase it more like,
Something more formal, like, please confirm your attendance for the meeting scheduled at 2 p.m., or following up on our previous discussion, I wish to confirm our meeting. Something like that.
got it. So still on for is really for that more conversational person-to-person check-in.
Exactly. Often when you've maybe already had a less formal chat about the plan before, it helps maintain a bit of that human connection, even at work.
Okay. And what about just everyday arrangements? Maybe something a bit more involved than just coffee. Like, are you still on for the movie tonight?
Yep, another perfect example. It very clearly implies there was a previous agreement about seeing that movie.
Right. We talked about it last week, where someone bought tickets.
Exactly. One of you bought tickets, the other agreed to come along. This is that final touch base. Maybe a few hours before the show.
Just making sure everything's still lined up.
Precisely. It wouldn't make sense if you were just, randomly asking someone out of the blue if they wanted to see a movie for the very first time.
No, that'd be weird.
This still carries that weight, that prior commitment. It's almost like a soft reminder, as much as it is a confirmation check.
And it gives them that chance again.
Yeah, allows for a quick, yep, see you there. Or, the more apologetic, oh no, unfortunately something came up, can we reschedule?
Okay. So just to really nail the nuance for our listeners, this is super important. It is not used for making new plans.
Crucial distinction, absolutely critical. That's where learners often get tripped up.
You wouldn't just walk up to someone and say, hey, are you still on for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
If you'd never even mentioned dinner before.
No, that would sound very strange, almost like you're suggesting they forgot a plan that never even existed. Creates confusion, maybe even a bit of awkwardness. The whole meaning of this phrase hinges entirely on that prior arrangement existing, a shared understanding of a past commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Without that foundation, the word still just doesn't land. It loses its meaning, and the phrase becomes, nonsensical.
The implication of still is really powerful then.
Incredibly powerful. It assumes the plan was in place, and you're just verifying its persistence, its continuity.
Right. Checking in on something already established.
Exactly. And that simplicity is its strength, but it's also precisely why it can catch learners out if they don't grasp that underlying assumption. It's not just confirmation, it's confirmation of continuity.
It feels like a very English way of being efficient, but also polite.
I think that's a very good description. Polite efficiency.
So mastering this one is pretty crucial then for managing your calendar, your social life.
Definitely.
And frankly, just being a good communicator who respects people's time.
Absolutely. It's all about efficient coordination and, maintaining those connections smoothly.
And like you said, sounding natural when you coordinate things.
That's a big part of it. It's a phrase native speakers use almost unconsciously. So when you use it correctly, it immediately makes your English sound more authentic.
More integrated into the flow.
Exactly. It shows you're comfortable with those subtle cues of English social interaction, how plans are managed.
Okay, good stuff. Let's move on to our next phrase. This one feels, a bit more mysterious maybe, a little less concrete.
Ooh, intriguing. Which one?
They say.
Ah, yes. The mysterious they.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me. Who are they? When we say they say, it's the ultimate unnamed source.
It really is. They say is such a fascinating and incredibly common phrase in English. At its core, it's used to introduce information without specifying the exact source. That information could be common knowledge, maybe a rumor, a widely held belief, or just something unverified.
Right.
The identity of they is deliberately vague.
Yeah.
Often because, well, maybe the speaker doesn't actually know the precise origin.
Well, maybe it doesn't matter.
Or maybe it doesn't matter. Or perhaps the information is just so widespread, part of the general cultural background, that pinning it down to one source would be impossible. Or just weird.
That's almost like a rhetorical device, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who said it? Well, they did, They.
Exactly. That sums it up perfectly. The purpose of using they say is often to convey general public opinion or what's just in the air,
Yeah.
information from unnamed or unknown sources.
Yeah.
It allows the speaker to share something, bring it into the conversation without personally having to vouch for its accuracy.
Ah, that's key. You don't have to stand by it.
Right. Or you don't have to reveal a specific informant, especially if it's, say, gossip. It's a way to introduce something while keeping a certain distance from how true it is. Or sometimes just acknowledging, hey, this is a widely circulated idea.
Like saying, this is what people are saying, or this is the general vibe.
Yeah. Exactly. This is the general consensus. This is the word on the street. It can act as a kind of social lubricant. It lets conversations flow around common topics or beliefs without demanding, footnotes and citations every 2 seconds.
Right. So you're not necessarily saying the information is 100% true.
Not at all.
You're just reporting that it's out there, that it's something commonly heard or believed, like the classic, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Perfect example. Classic common wisdom or proverb.
Nobody knows who first said that, right?
Yeah.
But everyone knows the saying.
Exactly. It's advice or wisdom that's been passed down maybe for generations, often without any traceable specific origin. So when you use they say there, you're tapping into a collective, generally accepted idea.
Not citing a medical journal.
No, definitely not. You're referencing shared beliefs, things that are just sort of known within the culture. It gives the statement a certain weight, a familiarity, without needing a named authority figure.
Okay. What about for rumors or gossip? That feels like an even more natural fit for they say, given how vague it is.
Oh, absolutely. Prime territory. They say the new restaurant down the street is opening next month.
Heard that one recently, actually.
Right. It's a classic use. It could be totally true. Maybe the owner told someone who told someone. Or it could just be wishful thinking, general chatter circulating. By using they say, you're clearly signaling, look, this isn't confirmed fact from an official announcement.
Right. Don't quote me on this, but...
Exactly. This is just something I've heard through the grapevine, through informal channels. It's a very common way to share those unverified but maybe interesting tidbits. Adds a little spice without claiming certainty.
It allows you to share info without putting your own credibility on the line if it turns out to be wrong.
Precisely. Very useful for navigating social information streams.
Or even something really mundane like the weather. You hear people say, they say it's going to rain later.
All the time.
You're not necessarily saying the meteorologist on Channel 4 said, or my weather app says.
Exactly. It's often just a generalized way of referring to forecasts or news reports without needing that specific citation.
Right.
They, in that case, could be the person on the radio you have heard this morning, or a news anchor, or just the general buzz you picked up online or from colleagues talking about it.
Specific source isn't the point.
No, the information itself, the potential rain, is what you're conveying. And you're doing it informally, casually. It's a way to refer to commonly available info without being overly precise or formal in your attribution. Saves time, keeps the chat flowing.
Yeah, makes sense.
And this brings up an important question, really. Why do we choose they say instead of being more specific, like saying my doctor says versus they say?
All right. What's the motivation?
Well, often it is about the informal nature of the information, or sometimes it's about the speaker wanting to keep a bit of distance from whether the statement is actually true.
Okay. So it can imply a lack of personal conviction.
It can, yeah. Or just a desire not to personally endorse it. If I say, my doctor says apples are good for you, I'm giving a specific source, probably a credible one.
And you likely believe it.
And I'm likely vouching for it. But if I say, they say apples are good for you, I'm referring to a general belief. maybe it's true, maybe it's just an old wives' tale. I'm not necessarily staking my reputation on its scientific validity.
It's more about how information travels informally in a culture.
Exactly, how we choose to present it, often with that implicit nod towards its unverified or general or maybe even slightly dubious nature.
So this helps you take part in conversations about common knowledge or rumors or even just general observations without having to back everything up with hard evidence or take personal responsibility for the claim. It's incredibly efficient for just everyday chat.
It really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture for learners, understanding, they say, is absolutely key to navigating informal conversation. And also for recognizing when information being presented might be unverified or just part of the collective consciousness, rather than hard fact. It's a subtle but powerful signal.
A signal to the listener about reliability or lack thereof.
Precisely. It's about understanding how information gets passed around informally in a culture and how you can engage with that flow without necessarily endorsing everything as gospel truth. It's fundamental for understanding casual talk and sensing public opinion.
Very cool. Okay, moving on. We have another phrase that seems simple on the surface, but it has really powerful implications for permission and encouragement.
Okay, which one is this?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yes, incredibly versatile. A real workhorse of conversational English.
So what does this phrase really do? What does it mean for giving the green light or pushing someone to act?
Well, primarily, its main job is to grant permission. That's probably the most common use.
Okay.
But it's also used frequently to encourage someone to proceed with something, or interestingly, to tell someone to continue what they were doing, especially after they've been interrupted.
Right.
So it's a direct, usually quite concise way to give someone the green light. Its purpose is basically to signal acceptance or approval, or just a clear directive to move forward.
And it kind of removes hesitation.
Exactly. It implicitly removes whatever hesitation or perceived obstacle the other person might be feeling, makes interaction smoother, definitely more efficient.
The classic example that always pops into my head is someone asking, "Can I open the window?" And the reply is simply, "Go ahead." It's so clear, so unambiguous.
Absolutely. That's the quintessential permission granting scenario. Go ahead there means, yes, you may. Yes, please do.
No room for doubt.
None at all. It's simple. It's polite. It conveys the full meaning of approval without needing any extra words. It's efficient communication, gets straight to the point without sounding abrupt or rude. It tells the person, you have my explicit permission to do that.
Okay. What about the encouragement angle? You mentioned that if someone's feeling hesitant.
Yeah, that's another common and I think quite powerful use, maybe even one of its most uplifting functions.
Oh, no.
Well, imagine someone says, oh, I'm not sure if I should try applying for that job, or I don't know if I can finish this.
Oh.
You can respond with a warm, encouraging, go ahead, you can do it, or go ahead, give it a shot.
Ah, I see.
Here, it means more than just permission. It means proceed with confidence, don't hold back, I support you. You're actively motivating them to take the action.
Showing support, belief in them.
Exactly. And the tone of your voice here becomes absolutely critical. A positive, affirming inflection makes all the difference. It turns it from simple permission into a verbal pat on the back.
That's nice. I've also heard it used and used it myself. When you accidentally interrupt someone.
Very common.
You might say, "Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Please go ahead."
That's a perfect observation. And it's a very common courtesy in English conversations. In that situation, go ahead is used to restore the flow.
Right. Get things back on track.
You're signaling, oops, my bad, I acknowledge I interrupted. Now please continue speaking. It's your turn again, and I'm ready to listen.
So it's polite. It says, "Please resume."
Exactly. It ensures the communication stays smooth and respectful. You acknowledge the interruption and invite the other person to seamlessly pick up where they left off. It's all about maintaining conversational etiquette.
Okay. And didn't you mention directions earlier? Can it be used there too?
Ooh, right, yes, it can.
Like, go ahead and turn left at the next light. It sounds somehow more natural than just barking, "Turn left."
It does, doesn't it? In that context, it acts as a kind of soft imperative, or maybe a guiding instruction.
Okay.
Go ahead and turn left basically means proceed to turn left now, or you are clear to make the turn. It softens the command, makes it sound less like a blunt order and more like a helpful, maybe even reassuring instruction.
Like guiding someone through the steps.
Yes. It often implies the path is clear, or this is the next logical step in the sequence. It just adds a natural conversational feel to instructions that might otherwise sound a bit too terse or direct. removes any doubt about whether they should proceed now.
This really highlights the importance of tone again, doesn't it?
Hugely important with go ahead. While it can be just a neutral instruction, like in the directions example, a positive, encouraging tone completely transforms it into that powerful message of support. The way you say it drastically changes its impact.
And it always removes some kind of obstacle.
That's a great way to summarize it. It implicitly removes an obstacle or a hesitation for the other person. Whether that obstacle is their own uncertainty, maybe just politeness stopping them, or simply not knowing what the next step is.
It's a green light in many different forms.
Exactly. Adapting its exact shade of meaning based on the context and how it's delivered.
Wow. This is a truly versatile phrase then for managing all sorts of interactions. Simple requests, big decisions, keeping conversations flowing.
It really is. It makes interactions smoother and clearer across so many different contexts.
Definitely one to master.
And what's fascinating is how concisely it does it. How go ahead packs such a powerful message of approval or encouragement into just 2 short words. It really is a cornerstone of polite and direct communication in English. It signals that the path forward is clear, whatever that path might be.
Streamlines things beautifully.
It does. It streamlines countless social and task-oriented exchanges, often without needing any further explanation. Mastering it definitely signals competence and consideration in your English conversations.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's move into describing emotional states now.
Okay. Moods.
Yes. These next phrases are so incredibly common, but they really do paint a clearer picture of someone's feelings. Absolutely essential for, reading social cues, navigating relationships.
Crucial for social survival, basically.
Pretty much. Let's talk about in a good mood and in a bad mood.
Right. These are fundamental, absolutely fundamental for understanding and expressing temporary emotional states.
Temporary being the key word there.
Definitely temporary. They describe a current disposition, either positive or negative. And the key element grammatically is that preposition in.
In a mood.
Yes. It indicates the state one is currently experiencing. Almost like you're immersed in that feeling, surrounded by it for a time.
So it's not about your fixed personality.
No, not at all. That's a vital distinction. It's about the fleeting, changeable nature of human emotion, how you feel right now, not who you are overall.
Got it. So what's their purpose? Why are they so common?
Well, their purpose is pretty straightforward: to communicate someone's general emotional disposition at a given time.
Okay.
And this information is crucial because it immediately tells others how they might want to interact with that person.
Right. It's a social signal.
Exactly. If someone is in a good mood, you might feel more comfortable approaching them with a request or engaging in lighthearted chat. You'd expect them to be more receptive, generally. Whereas if they're in a bad mood, you might tread more carefully, give them some space, maybe put off that sensitive conversation until later.
It helps us read the room, essentially, or
Right.
read the person.
Perfectly put. It's vital for reading the room. So, for instance, you might say, wow, she's in a really good mood today because she got that promotion.
Okay.
This tells us she's feeling happy, optimistic, probably cheerful, pleasant to be around right now. Her positive emotional state is linked to an event, and it affects her demeanor.
And how she'll interact. You'd expect her to be more receptive, maybe more talkative.
Probably, yeah. More agreeable, generally speaking.
And then the flip side, oof, don't bother him right now. He's in a terrible bad mood.
Exactly. That functions as a clear warning sign, a verbal proceed with caution flag.
Right. Don't poke the bear.
Precisely. It implies the person is feeling irritable, maybe upset, grumpy, just generally negative. And approaching them, especially with demands or bad news, might lead to an unpleasant interaction, or at least an uncooperative response.
It's a concise way to communicate, give them space, or approach carefully.
Yes. And it's understood by pretty much all native speakers as exactly that: a direct instruction to respect that emotional state. It helps avoid unnecessary conflict or discomfort. You're acknowledging and accommodating their temporary feelings.
And you can also use these as a question, can't you? I feel like I've heard that.
Oh, definitely.
Like maybe asking someone, are you in a good mood for some adventure this weekend?
That's a fantastic example. It's quite a clever, indirect, and polite way of asking, are you feeling up to this?
Okay.
Or Do you have the energy and positive outlook for this kind of activity right now? You're gauging their receptiveness.
Making sure the activity fits their current vibe.
Exactly. Ensuring it aligns with their current emotional state rather than trying to force them into something they're just not feeling. It shows consideration, empathy, social intelligence, really. Sets you up for a better outcome.
Okay, let's talk nuances. Are there modifiers? Can you be in more than just a good or bad mood?
Oh, absolutely. While good mood and bad mood are the basic building blocks, you can use a whole range of modifiers to get more specific about the intensity or even the quality of the mood.
Right.
You can be in a really good mood, a fantastic mood, an absolutely terrible mood, a foul mood, or even things like a surprisingly good mood.
Okay. If their mood defies expectations.
Exactly. Or maybe a surprisingly bad mood if something seemingly small has really upset them unexpectedly. These modifiers add layers of detail, allow for much more precise emotional description.
And just to reiterate, it's vital for learners to contrast mood with personality traits, right?
Yes, absolutely crucial. Someone might generally be a very serious, quiet person, that's their personality, but today they might be in a surprisingly good mood because, I don't know, their favorite team won.
Right. The mood is temporary, it can change quickly.
Exactly. Moods are fleeting, they shift. Personality traits are more enduring, more stable patterns of behavior and feeling. It's not about who someone is fundamentally, but how they feel right now.
And that feeling has very real outward implications for how we interact.
Totally. It affects everything in that moment.
So understanding these phrases helps you read the room, adapt your communication style, and just generally communicate more effectively, whether you're talking about yourself or trying to understand someone else.
It's social intelligence wrapped up in a couple of simple phrases.
Yeah.
And connecting it to the bigger picture again, these phrases are just fundamental for emotional literacy in English. They're the basic tools. They allow us to quickly convey and understand someone's emotional barometer. And that's crucial for social harmony, for empathy, for effective relationships. Without them, navigating the subtle, often unspoken rules of social interaction would be so much harder.
It'd be guesswork all the time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They are the bedrock of everyday emotional communication in English.
Okay, fantastic. Let's move on to our final phrase for this deep dive.
All right, last one.
Now, this one is particularly tricky, I think, because it sounds like a physical collision.
Ugh, I think I know where you're going with this.
But run into often means something entirely different.
Yeah.
And something incredibly useful.
Yes, a classic phrasal verb challenge.
Exactly. It's one of those infamous phrasal verbs which I know can be a real headache for English learners.
You've hit on a key point there, because run into definitely has multiple meanings. And yes, the most common ones are often non-literal. And you're absolutely right, phrasal verbs. They're combinations of a verb plus a preposition or adverb, right? And the meaning of the combination often just goes way beyond the individual words. Create something totally new. That's why they're so challenging.
You have to learn them as a whole chunk.
Exactly. As a single unit of meaning, rather than just trying to decode the verb and the preposition separately.
Okay, so run into, what about the literal meaning first? Does that exist?
Oh, it definitely exists. The literal meaning to physically collide with something, like the car ran into a tree, or he wasn't looking and ran into the wall. That's perfectly valid. But it's probably less common in everyday informal chat, especially when we're talking about people, unless you literally physically bumped into someone quite hard.
Right. You might say bumped into more often for a light collision.
Probably, yeah. Run into, for people, usually implies something else. We typically use it in two main non-literal ways, and both of them revolve around this core idea of an unplanned, unexpected encounter.
Unexpected is the key.
Unexpected is absolutely the key. So first, and probably most common in social contexts, it means to unexpectedly meet someone.
Okay.
You had no plan, no appointment to see them. It just happened by chance. Pure coincidence.
Got it. And the second meaning?
Second, and equally common, especially in work or when you're trying to get something done, it means to encounter an unexpected problem or difficulty.
Okay. So meeting people or meeting problems unexpectedly.
That's a great way to remember it. Its main purpose is just to concisely describe that unplanned encounter, whether it's with a person or a problem. It's about unforeseen things that just pop up in your path.
So it really hinges on that element of surprise. lack of planning.
Completely. Like your example. I ran into my old teacher at the grocery store yesterday.
Right. You didn't arrange it. It just happened while you were buying milk.
Exactly. That's the classic use for an unexpected personal meeting. You're conveying the surprise, the casual, unplanned nature of it. It wasn't an appointment. It was pure chance. You just happened to cross paths.
And it's much more common than saying you collided with your teacher unless.
Unless you actually knocked them over with your shopping cart, which hopefully didn't happen.
Hopefully not. So run into is for the chance meeting. Spontaneous, often pleasant maybe.
Often pleasant, but not always. Could be someone you didn't particularly want to see. But the key is the unexpectedness.
Okay. Now what about in a project setting? How does it work with problems? Can you literally run into a technical glitch?
Metaphorically, yes. That's exactly how it's used. A perfect example would be someone reporting back. We ran into some technical difficulties during the presentation. This doesn't mean the PowerPoint physically crashed into a problem. It means the team encountered unexpected issues, obstacles that hindered their progress.
Got it. Things didn't go smoothly because of something unforeseen.
Exactly. It's a very common, very efficient way to explain unforeseen challenges in a professional context, or just when you're trying to accomplish any task. It immediately tells the listener that something unexpected went wrong during the process.
You might also hear things like, I've run into a wall on this problem.
Yes. Another great example. That means you've hit an unexpected and likely insurmountable obstacle. You can't get past it.
Okay. And even just for unexpected situations generally, like when you're traveling, we ran into heavy traffic on the way to the airport. You didn't cause the traffic, you just encountered it.
Another excellent illustration. You didn't anticipate it. Maybe the traffic report was clear when you left, but you encountered it unexpectedly as you were going along.
It describes an unforeseen circumstance that messed up your plans.
Exactly. It's used pretty broadly for any kind of unexpected situation that crosses your path. Could be good things, could be bad things, though honestly, it most often implies a problem or at least an inconvenience.
You probably wouldn't say, I ran into a beautiful sunset.
No, probably not. You might say you ran into some good luck occasionally, meaning you unexpectedly found good fortune, but that's definitely less common than running into trouble or running into delays.
So that unexpected element is absolutely crucial then. Always implies something wasn't planned or foreseen.
Always. If you had a meeting scheduled with your old teacher, you wouldn't say you ran into them.
No, you'd say, I met my teacher, or I had a meeting with her.
Exactly. The spontaneity, the lack of planning is the absolute key to using run into correctly in these non-literal senses.
And that's why it's so tricky for learners, because the meaning depends entirely on context, and it hinges on this idea of unexpectedness.
Precisely. Whether it's a person or a problem. It's a hallmark of natural idiomatic English because it packs so much implied meaning, the unexpectedness, into a short, often counterintuitive phrase.
Phrasal verbs really add color and efficiency, but they demand a different way of learning.
They really do. You have to move beyond the literal meanings of the individual words and grasp the combined, often metaphorical meaning of the whole phrase. And context is always your best friend in figuring out which meaning is intended.
Right. The surrounding words usually make it clear if you ran into a person or ran into a problem.
Almost always, yes.
So mastering this phrase really lets you describe those surprising moments, those unexpected bumps in the road, so much more clearly and naturally.
Definitely. It makes your everyday storytelling, whether about your day or a project, much more vivid and authentic.
Yeah.
And what's really fascinating here, again, is the efficiency. How one short phrase, run into, can convey both an unexpected personal encounter and an unforeseen obstacle, depending entirely on the context.
It's a great example of how English idioms work.
It really is. Once you grasp that underlying concept, the unexpected encounter or obstacle, the different applications start to make a lot more sense. And using it correctly makes your communication much more precise, much more natural.
It's a sign you're moving beyond just vocabulary lists.
Absolutely, into the real rhythm and flow of how native speakers actually talk.
Well, there you have it. 5 common English phrases, thoroughly unpacked and explored, I think.
We definitely dug into them.
We decode. Are you still on for that super handy phrase for confirming plans, showing you're considerate?
Essential for scheduling.
They say. The mysterious voice of common wisdom, rumors, how we share info without necessarily vouching for it.
Navigating that informal information flow.
Go ahead. Our incredibly versatile permission giver and encourager, clearing the path for action.
The green light phrase.
In a good mood and a bad mood, your quick snapshot of those crucial temporary emotional states.
Reading the emotional room. Essential.
And finally, run into that tricky but useful phrasal verb for all those unexpected meetings and unforeseen problems life throws at us.
The surprise encounter phrase.
Yeah. Each of these phrases really, in its own way, adds such a crucial layer of naturalness, precision, efficiency to English communication.
They really do. They are genuine nuggets of knowledge once you understand them, once you integrate them into your own speaking. They really empower you, the listener, to navigate conversations with so much more confidence, deeper understanding. They make your English just sound more authentic, more fluent.
They're not just words, are they? They're tools.
Absolutely. Tools for deeper connection, smoother social interaction, clearer communication.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Next time you hear one of these phrases used, or maybe you find yourself using one, just pause for a second. Consider how much richness, how much implied context is packed into those few simple words. Kind of amazing.
It really is when you stop and think about it.
And maybe ask yourself, what other everyday phrases do you rely on without even thinking about their hidden depths? And what surprising meanings might they hold?
That's a great challenge. Keep exploring.
Yeah, we really encourage you to continue your own deep dives into language. Because the more you explore, the more fluent and connected you inevitably become.